Have you ever wondered why major airlines in the United States seem to funnel most of their flights through just a handful of airports? This is the hub-and-spoke system, a revolutionary concept in aviation that transformed air travel in the U.S. Let's dive into what it is, why it started, and why it's a unique system compared to other countries. The hub-and-spoke system started in the late 1970s and early 1980s, following airline deregulation in the U.S. Before this, airlines were tightly regulated, with routes and fares dictated by the government. This new freedom led most airlines to consolidate their operations in hubs, which are major airports strategically chosen for their geographic location or market demand. From these hubs, airlines could connect passengers to smaller spoke cities. This was far more efficient than offering direct flights between every city pair. The hub-and-spoke system optimizes efficiency and profitability. By funneling passengers through central hubs, airlines can fill larger planes on major routes and use smaller planes for less popular ones. This makes it possible to serve more destinations with fewer flights, providing efficiency and saving costs. It also helps passengers have more options with flight times, rebooking or rerouting via another hub in cases of severe weather incidents, for example. The hub-and-spoke system also allows for simpler swaps of aircraft if there's a mechanical issue, meaning a better product and experience for passengers, where they can pay slightly more than the point-to-point system. Without hubs, connecting smaller cities to many destinations would require direct flights, which are often unprofitable due to low demand. Let's look at the impact on the largest U.S. airlines. Let's start with Northwest Airlines and Delta Airlines. Before their 2008 merger, Northwest had hubs in Minneapolis-St. Paul, Detroit, and Memphis, while Delta's operations centered around Atlanta, Cincinnati, and Salt Lake City. Post-merger, the combined map shows a seamless network covering many connections. Memphis was eventually scaled back, but the merger created one of the largest global networks as the new Delta Airlines. Now to Continental Airlines, known for its hubs in Newark, Houston, and Cleveland, joined forces with United Airlines in 2010, whose hubs included Chicago O'Hare, Denver, and San Francisco. The post-merger map reveals a vast network connecting major cities across the U.S., although Cleveland saw a significant reduction in operations. The merger into the new United Airlines solidified itself as one of the big three. Next, U.S. Airways and American Airlines. U.S. Airways relied heavily on hubs in Charlotte, Philadelphia, Washington Reagan National, and Phoenix. American Airlines dominated Dallas-Fort Worth, Miami, and Chicago O'Hare. When they merged in 2013, their combined network linked the East Coast, Midwest, and Southwest, making the new American Airlines the largest airline in the world by passenger traffic. These mergers created highly efficient networks, consolidating the U.S. airline industry into three dominant carriers: Delta, American, and United. The result became a dense web of connections that ensures passengers can reach virtually any destination with just one stop. Finally, let's look at Southwest Airlines and AirTran Airways. Before their 2011 merger, AirTran operated a hub-and-spoke system centered on Atlanta, complemented by a presence in smaller cities. Southwest, known for its point-to-point model, didn't traditionally use hubs in the same way. After the merger, Southwest gradually integrated AirTran's network, including Atlanta, into its existing system. Today, Southwest operates more like a hybrid, focusing on high-frequency routes between major cities while still serving secondary airports such as Dallas Love Field, and can still connect passengers through larger locations rather than hubs, without feeding passengers into larger aircraft, including those that do international routes due to their one-fleet-type business model. Globally, the hub-and-spoke system is used, but usually differently. In Europe, for example, most countries have their own airline, creating hubs naturally in main cities, competing with high-speed rail as an alternative to short-haul flights. Airlines like Lufthansa and British Airways operate hubs, but due to Europe's dense population and multiple economic centers, point-to-point flights are often more practical, even with lower frequency. This is especially true for low-cost airlines like EasyJet, Wizz Air, and Ryanair, as seen in their extensive point-to-point networks. In Australia, for example, the population is concentrated in just a few cities like Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. This makes a point-to-point system more viable. However, airlines like Qantas and Virgin Australia still operate smaller hub-and-spoke networks for city and regional connections. Now let's look quickly at China. China operates a hub-and-spoke system similar to the United States, but with a key difference. Its major airlines dominate specific hubs based on their regional focus. Air China, for instance, has its primary hub in Beijing, while China Eastern Airlines is centered in Shanghai, and China Southern Airlines operates primarily out of Guangzhou. This structure allows each airline to specialize in connecting smaller cities to its main hub and beyond, creating efficient networks across the country. The hub-and-spoke system revolutionized aviation in the U.S., transforming how airlines operate and making air travel more accessible and profitable for millions of passengers. By consolidating flights through major hubs, airlines maximize efficiency, enabling them to serve more destinations while maintaining profitability. While this system isn't as prevalent in other parts of the world, due to differences in geography, population distribution, and transportation infrastructure, it remains the backbone of American air travel, ensuring connectivity across the vast expanse of the United States and beyond. So, the next time you find yourself connecting through a major hub airport, take a moment to appreciate the intricate network that makes modern aviation possible. Which is your favorite hub to fly through? Let us know in the comments.